Sexuality was not our idea. It's not something that mankind came up with. It originated from the mind of God. As such, He gets the final word on what it is and how it's to be used. Today's Purity Post starts a 4-part series we're calling The Genesis of Sexuality. In each video, we're going to jump back to the beginning, when God created the first human beings, and see if we can understand more clearly this thing called sexuality. Let's start with design, how something is made. I've had the privilege in recent years to help my father-in-law build our house from the ground up. The foundation, the framing, plumbing, electrical, painting, all of it. But my house wouldn't be here today if there wasn't an original design, an intentional drawing that spelled out where stuff was supposed to be built. And each element flowed from the previous one. For example, we didn't start building my house by trying to put the roof on first. We didn't even start with the walls. No, we had to start from the ground up, the foundation. Until the foundation was laid, none of the rest of the structure would be supported. The design ensured each of the parts of the whole house fit together in harmony so it would stand strong against wind and storm. Sexuality was part of God's original design in humans. Let's take a look at Genesis chapter 1, starting in verse 26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." It continues in verse 27. So God created man in His own image. In the image of God He created him, male and female He created them. Male and female. From the very beginning, God designed human life to be distinctly sexual, a male being and a female being. This was no accident, no evolutionary anomaly. This was the mind of God determining that His most prized creation would be created sexual. Now, sexuality isn't exclusive to humans, obviously. Every other animal on the planet, and even most plants, have some form of sexuality, the ability to reproduce. So is there anything unique about human sexuality in its design? Yes, the image of God. Notice in the creation story found in the first 2 chapters of Genesis in the Bible that no other part of creation personally bears the image of God. Certainly everything in creation attests to God as the Creator, but only human beings are blessed with something of His very essence and personality being woven into them. This elevates humans to the highest position of worth in all created things. And as such, this means everything about humans is valued on a different level as well, including sexuality. What then are some conclusions we can draw about the value of human sexuality in light of its design by God? First, human sexuality is distinct from all other forms of sexuality in creation. While some of the basic functions of sexuality may appear similar, human sexuality was born out of God's image, so it carries a type of sacredness with it that other forms do not. We might say it is the difference between animalistic sexuality and loving sexuality. Second, human sexuality was made for more than merely procreation. God is highly relational, even within Himself, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, harmoniously existing as one God. He made human sexuality for the highest form of relationship, which is marriage. We'll discuss this part of sexuality in part 3 of this series, but for now, understand that God designed sexuality to solidify the bond between a husband and wife, with the result being children and the multiplication of the race. Finally, human sexuality multiplies God's image in His creation. God didn't want to make only one human, one animal, one plant, one ocean, and so on. He created a universe with the ability to expand and multiply. And since human beings bear His image, each new life born into the world is another person who carries the mark of the Creator of all things. Design matters, but even more than that, it's the designer that matters most. Because our sexuality was designed by God, it is valuable, sacred, and meant for His glory. Sometimes it's important to take a look back and see if our lives are being built on the right foundation. If you are using your sexuality in a way that doesn't reflect God's design, you will be miserable. But it's never too late to stop. Take a deep breath and begin building on the rock, Jesus Christ. Thanks for watching this edition of the Purity Post. If you'd like more resources, please visit BeBroken.com or call our toll-free number at 1-800-49-PURITY. Keep pressing on.